Hey guys, James with Torches and Tactical, and let me start off by apologizing. I am coming down with a cold, so if I sound a little bit congested, that's going to be the case. Anyways, today we are talking about the E8 Angeleyes from Rovyvon, and they sent us this because we did recently do an A3 Aurora video, and that got quite positive responses. So the E8 Angeleyes is a dual optic keychain flashlight that reaches up to 700 lumens, but in addition to that, it does have a second switch that will operate a UV light, a white light, and a red light on the side. Not only that, but this is considered a dual fuel light in the sense that you pop this open, and this thing will run without having a battery installed. That's right, it does have a lithium-ion battery pack installed, but for those times when you can't get to a charger or you need just a little extra juice, you can throw in a AAA battery and you can run off either of those fuel sources. Continuing on, even though this does open up and slide, it is still IPX6 water resistant rating with that tough 7075 and polycarbonate shell. It is 1.5 meters impact resistant rating, and those dimensions are 66 millimeters by 28 millimeters by 14 millimeters, and that's with the pocket clip. And in addition to those 3 emitters on the side, the main optics will give you 4 different settings, and that's going to be a half lumen moonlight mode, and that shines for 62 hours. You can turn up the juice a little bit to 10 lumens, that'll run for 14 hours. Increase it a little more, go up to 100 lumens, and that'll run for 2 hours, or in 700 lumen guys, this will shine out for 1 hour and 3 minutes. And those runtimes are only possible with that built-in lithium ion pack, and that is a 330 milliamp hour cell, and it does have USB-C here on the side. That will give you 350 milliamps of charge rate. So let's go ahead and look at the packaging and see everything that comes with it. So this is the box that the Rovyvon E8 Angeleyes came in. Now, if this looks familiar, it is because it is incredibly similar to the A3 Aurora box. So let's open it up and see if there's any difference there. Now, this is the package and the inside documentation. The Angeleyes came in on the side here in this opening. However, if we lift that up, you will see that it also includes your customer care information as well as your warranty. And you'll see quite an extensive user manual. Now, this user manual is as large as it is because it does offer information on all of the E8 Angeleyes options that you can get. Now you can see here you have the E8U or the E8UR or the E8W. Now those will change the side emitters and has all the instructions for that as well. So let's get this out of the way and continue on. Finally, inside you do receive a small package that has 2 different size and thickness of keychain rings, as well as a USB replacement port cover. That way, if it ever does come off, you can replace it and keep that IPX6 water resistance rating. Now, it's important to note that this pocket clip did come in that same package as well. However, I pre-installed it just so you guys could see it in all of its glory. So let's get this out of the way and continue on with the light. So focusing on the body of the E8 Angeleyes, now let's start at the business end, if you will. Now it does have a polycarbonate lens as well, so you can tell that these emitters don't get too terribly hot because they're not worried about any hot spotting or melting on these optics. And then instead of the standard 6061, it does have a 7075 aluminum head. Now you can see here on the backside, let me pull this up, there you go, right there. You can see the Rovyvon Angeleyes logo, and here is the metal clasp. It is pinned in place, so it's not going to come out anytime soon, but it latches onto the lower half of the polycarbonate shell and allows you to rotate to swap out that battery. Now these 2 components, you can see it a little bit here, but I will open it up so you can get a better look. These two components are gasketed, so you do get that IPX6 water resistance rating, and when they are mated together, it does feel incredibly tight. Now, as you just saw, there is a green battery indicator, and that'll let you know when you first hook up a AAA cell, whether it be a 1.2 volt rechargeable, 1.5 volt primary cell, or even a 3.6 volt lithium ion. That's right, you can use 3.6 volt lithium ions in here as well. In addition to that, it will also indicate when you switch between the two. So when you do have the AAA cell installed, you can still use that lithium polymer battery that comes pre-installed. But continuing to move down, you can see there is a bit of a wave pattern here on the polycarbonate shell. And now I'm sure that is purely for aesthetic reasons, but the texture up top does provide plenty of ample grip. And to be honest, I do appreciate the fact that this does have this ultra clear section here, so you can see the inner workings. Frankly, the technology behind some of these lights astounds me, so being able to see it firsthand is quite nice. If we move over to the side, you can see that the USB-C charging port, indicating here you can get 5 volts at 450 milliamps of charge rate. And then that same color and same 7075 aluminum does transfer over to a bezel here for the UV, the white light, and the red light here. Now those, as I said, are controlled via this rear switch, but we keep moving around and you can see that this is, in fact, a keychain light. So this does give you a dual throughput, so you can have the keychain coming around this way, or you can have it come around this way. And that's going to give you ease of use in whichever situation you might need. Finally, the pocket clip that did come with it. Now this is stainless steel and provides quite a bit of retention. You can see how much is digging into my finger here. And I have to say, one thing I'm not too particularly a fan of is the fact that it never seems to sit 100% flush. Now, if this weren't polycarbonate and it were machined aluminum, I'm sure these grooves would be sitting a little more exact and it wouldn't move around at all. But as it stands, I was carrying this in my pocket for a number of days and it held up really well. It never came off, so I have no reason to think that this wouldn't continue to hold up long term. But I know you all want to see how these switches work, so let's get into it. For all intents and purposes, let's refer to the top switch as the primary and the bottom switch as the secondary, and that's looking at it from an angel eyes up direction. So if you press the main or the primary button once, it will go into your moonlight mode, and that is again half a lumen, and you can click again to turn that off. Now if you press and hold, it will go into high mode and shut off when you let go. This is all 700 lumens. And if you want to keep the light on, you can double tap, and it does have a memory mode, so it will go to the last mode you had it on. And from here, you can go ahead and press once to cycle through these modes. Now in regular mode, it will cycle just through your low, medium, and high. And then you can press and hold to shut it off. Finally, and now consider this a strobe warning, on that main switch, if you do hit it 3 times, it will go into a strobe mode. So that's all the functions that come from just that switch. And yes, we still have a completely other switch that we can use. So let's rotate the light around so we can see what's going on in the side. Now if you press it once, it will turn on the white light, and you can cycle through low and high with the white light, and you can long press to shut it off, or if you press twice, it will go to your red light. Now this is a 670 nanometer red light, and you can switch here between constant, flashing, and SOS. Again, long press to turn it off, and then if you triple click, that will activate your UV light. Now I know it probably doesn't come across well here. I guess my desk is cleaner than I thought. But you can use this for examining currency or looking for identification or animal scat, or even identifying bugs. Again, long press and it will shut off. So all in, I think this is a very fantastic keychain light, one that offers a lot of usable functionality. And if you don't want to have to worry about a charger, you can carry around a couple AAA batteries with you. This gives plenty of light for night hikes. The pocket clip is reversible, so it will attach to a baseball cap brim as well. So you can use it as a makeshift headlamp, and it's not very heavy. It does only come in at 30 grams, and I think that has a lot to do with the polycarbonate shell. But getting back to that final party trick that this light has, you can swap in either a 1.2 volt, 1.5 volt, or 3.6/3.7 volt cell. And when the light is on, if you triple click, it will switch over to LiPo, and that means it's running off the included battery pack. Or if you triple click again, now that green indicator there lets you know that it is running off of the cell that you put in place. So all in, this is a fantastic light, and it's one that I wouldn't be ashamed to carry at all. I love the fact that it is dual fuel, so if you want to go on a night hike with it, it's small, compact, lightweight, and if you don't want to have to worry about solar chargers or carrying battery banks or anything like that, you can just carry a couple AAA batteries with you and keep the party going. It's easy to use, and while the UI can be a little bit cumbersome given the two switches, it takes no time at all to master. I really like the fact that this pocket clip is reversible, so you can attach it to the brim of a cap. So if you do need a headlamp and utilize both of your hands, you can definitely do that with this light. So I know what you guys are interested in. Let's go ahead and compare the E8 Angeleyes to the staple, the standard, the Rovyvon G2. Now this is pretty much what we've been using for all of our comparisons for keychain lights. So you can see that they're not too terribly off in size. Now this does fit a AAA battery in it, so you know it's at least going to be that thick. But all in, I mean, dimensionally it is larger in every way, but it gives you quite a bit more light, gives you more switches, gives you pretty much more of everything. So let's see if those two TIR optics can outthrow and outperform the large electroplated TIR from the Rovyvon G2. So let's get outside and do that comparison. All right, we have the Rovyvon E8 Angeleyes. Low, medium, high. And if you long press, that's all 700 lumens from the E8 Angeleyes. And for the Rovyvon G2, here's the lowest level. We'll call this one low, medium, and high. And if you double tap, this is all 500 lumens from the Rovyvon G2. Now definitely more flood. And again, to put it into perspective, here's 700 lumens from the E8 Angeleyes. And 500 from the Rovyvon G2. All right, let's get back inside. All right, guys, we went outside and saw the Rovyvon E8 Angeleyes compared to the Rovyvon G2. Now, to me, it was no surprise seeing that this is rated at 47 meters of throw and this is rated at 70. So it was no surprise to see that these two TIR optics are going to throw that light out a little bit further, in conjunction with the fact that it does have an extra 200 lumens. What did surprise me, though, is just how much flood you still get with that 70 meters of throw. So all in, I do have to say that this one came out on top in this beam shot competition, but that's because for not much more size, you get quite a bit more usable light. So again, not much more size, meaning this is very, very tiny. I like the fact that this will disappear in my pocket. I won't have to think about it, and if I need to, I can carry around a couple cells. Now those are definitely the key points for me, but having that UV as well as the side white light and even the red light, you can run this as an emergency indicator if you need to, and it does have 450 milliamps of charge rate, so you can top this off in 1 hour if you prefer to keep it even lighter and not have that spare battery in there. So tell me down below what you guys think of the E8 Angeleyes. Thank you guys for being with me today. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.